I've got a bit of a dilemma on my hands here. Am I going to stay here in America or am I going to come back to Thailand? Make sure you stay till the end of this video to find out the answer. And if you're wondering where I've been the last 2.5 weeks, let me explain. You see, I had to come back to America for 3 weeks. And the reason I say I had to is because I've been living in Thailand for a little over a year, and well, it was time to come back and visit friends and family. I was a little apprehensive coming back because I wasn't sure how I would feel. I have loved my life in Thailand so much over the last year that I wasn't sure how I would feel coming back to America. However, this is where the dilemma starts. The moment I landed back in Texas and started driving around, even though I only lived there for 1 year, it felt so at home. It was just so comfortable to be back and amongst familiar things, knowing where you're going, being able to read the signs. And between going to Texas and then going to California and then to Florida, visiting friends and family, it's definitely been confusing. I've had some very mixed thoughts of whether I want to stay here in the US or if I want to go back to Thailand. So I'm going to talk to you today in this video, and like I mentioned, I will let you know at the end what I decided, so make sure you stay tuned. And right now I'm at the Veterans Memorial Sanctuary here in Vero Beach. And it's quite fitting because it is Memorial Weekend here in the US. And that is when respect is paid to servicemen who have fallen and we remember them. Hence the name Memorial Day Weekend. And, you know, my feelings here in America are still so strong. I lived here for 41 years. Even though I was born in Russia, I moved to America when I was 9 years old, and I lived here until I was 51. So I have a lot of ties here. Family, friends, familiarities. It just feels so natural to me. So living in Thailand for the last year has been great, but it also has had its slight drawbacks. So I've really been torn emotionally over the last 2.5 weeks as to what I will do. Will I come back to Thailand or will I stay here in America? It's not an easy decision, I'll be honest with you. However, before we get to that, let me tell you what I've been up to while I've been here in America. I actually tried to make a video yesterday. Let me show you what happened with that disaster. Today I'm in Florida doing some exploring, and well, this day is already off to a crazy start. I'm trying to hang on to my umbrella. It's pouring like crazy here, but we've come here to the Kennedy Space Center to try and take a look. Yes, the one-day admission here is $75. $75 for an adult. Are they crazy? If you have a family, it's going to be like $200-300. I mean, yeah, it looks super interesting, but I'm not sure this is really worth $75. Definitely not in this weather. Well, the Kennedy Space Center isn't happening for 2 reasons. One, it is pouring down rain, and two, $75? I better get a ride on the space shuttle to the moon for that. Now, jokes aside, that is ridiculously expensive in my mind to go into a museum. And although I couldn't go and check out the white rocket ships in there, I've got my own white rocket ship today. Yep, I've got this 560 horsepower BMW X5 M50i. Definitely a rocket ship on its own. So my initial plans today was driving about an hour and 15 minutes here, and I was going to go and check out one of the launch sites because on the map it said I could go. However, I soon realized that I was entering an Air Force base and that, in fact, you are not allowed to go there, and they were nice enough to inform me that it's only through scheduled and group excursions. So while in that area, I got to see some really interesting cruise ships because here at Cape Canaveral, there's also a big port for a lot of cruise ships, obviously. And there was a giant Mickey Mouse Disneyland cruise ship, as well as, I believe, a Norwegian cruise ship. These things are gigantic up in person. I haven't seen one for a while, so it was kind of cool to check that out and drive around that area, look around, see the ships, and then get kicked out of the Air Force Base, like I said. And now, as I mentioned, I came here to the Kennedy Space Center, and although that day turned out to be quite a disaster, that's okay. That is life with Serg, and that's kind of what my channel is about. It's just life in general. And while we're at it, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, do me a huge favor, subscribe to this channel. It really helps the algorithm, and I really appreciate all of you. Now, let me tell you what else has happened while I've been here, because I've been to 3 different states while here in America. So here is a little recap of what I've been doing while I've been here. And yes, as you'll notice, most of these next clips are in the vertical format. That is because I was uploading them to my Instagram account, Life with Sergi. Make sure you're following me on Instagram because I update my story there daily. My first stop in America was Texas, and there was a great welcome sign. My brother's dog Zim was happy to see me. He's so cute. This was my rental car, Dodge Charger Hemi. Of course, I had to go to Torchy's Tacos in Texas and get my hands on some of their damn good tacos, some queso. These are great Tex-Mex tacos, and I had 2 of their signatures, which were so delicious. My next stop was over to Lockhart, which is just an amazing little town not far away from Austin. Absolutely loved the architecture there, checked out the square, checked out some of the buildings, really loved my time in this little town. I was really excited to see all these different flavored Red Bulls. I must have drank 20 of them on this trip because flavored Red Bulls are not available in Thailand for some reason. Going to Barbarella for 80s night in Austin was an absolute must. I love this place. I used to go here all the time when I lived in Austin. Up next, went to California. Finally made it to California, and you know you got good friends when you show up at their house and your videos are on their TV. That is just too funny. I made my friend and I a really nice charcuterie board, and then I played with her dog. Hey, Nala. Nala. The next day I took her to Aki, a Tex-Mex place in San Jose, which has some great tacos, and I had an amazing tomatillo soup along with this awesome dish of chicken and rice and corn. Then the following day, I hopped on a Southwest flight and I flew down to Los Angeles to visit some relatives just for the day. Super quick flight, only about an hour down there, and there were some really cool sights like this awesome mansion. I even got to walk the Hollywood Walk of Fame, see some stars on the ground, which was really interesting. Saw this 550 Spider rolling, but I think it was a replica for sure. And this is Chinese Man Theater. This is where the Academy Awards are held. Really interesting building. Didn't have time to go inside, but it was nice to check out. Didn't make it all the way up to the Hollywood sign, but here it is. You can see it from a distance away. I couldn't believe how many ground squirrels were at this park in Santa Monica. There were hundreds of them everywhere. So many ground squirrels. Look at this, guys. They're just chilling everywhere here in Santa Monica. Beautiful homes, and of course we got the good old Santa Monica Pier right over there. Nice. I don't know if you caught this in the prior clip, but these are the 2 homes you see in every meme. Then I got back on the plane and I flew back to San Jose on the same day. The next morning, one of my good buddies and I went for a hike up in the hills in the San Jose area where we'd always go hike. Even saw this lady with the 10 dogs that I remember from many years ago. Definitely one of the things I missed here in America is look at this meat scramble, different meat, potatoes, all sorts of really good stuff, and the Swedish pancakes. Then the next night, my buddy and I went downtown San Jose, had a nice meal at Original Joe's, and then it was off to the Emo Night Tour concert over at the Ritz, which is a club in downtown San Jose. As you can see, this got really pretty crazy, and I just couldn't resist getting into the mosh pit. It started out pretty light, but things definitely changed pretty quickly to a hairy environment. So my buddy Victor told me if I go in the mosh pit, I would get $10, and I went, and he gave me 20. I'm going to be hurting tomorrow morning. If it looks like I didn't get a chance to rest on this trip, you are correct. Next up was a trip to San Francisco up the coast. As I cruised into the city, you can see that the traffic was pretty crazy there. Just cruising through Union Square here in San Francisco. So far it looks about the same as it did when I left this area 2 years ago. Dirty, homeless people on the street, drugs, people shitting. Yay, San Francisco. My buddies and I got rooms at the King George Hotel. This is one of my favorite places to stay when I'm in San Francisco. Great size king bed. The rooms are nice and big. It is clean, which is important. You got your TV, and then you got this giant closet over here. I mean, you could almost live in there. I'm not sure what they were expecting you to do in there. One of the coolest things about this Art Deco building is this bathroom. I just love the style and the design of it. There isn't much of a view. It's just a parking garage across the street. But the important thing is we went to Smith's Night at the Cat Club, New Wave City in downtown San Francisco. This is one of my favorite events and got to dance one more night. Partied way too much the night before, so I didn't get out a bit till late. Crossed the Bay Bridge onto the East Bay, and then I drove through Niles Canyon Road to get into beautiful Niles Canyon. This is Bronco Billy's Pizza here in Niles Canyon near Fremont, California. One of my favorite places. It's like an old-time bar turned pizzeria. These are the slices. This is a slice of pizza. This is my hand. It is gigantic. Niles Canyon has a great vintage steam train that you can take all the way from Niles all the way into Fremont. And what this town is really known for is that this is where Charlie Chaplin made all of his films during the 1920s and 1930s. It is such a picturesque little town. But next, it was time for me to get on the plane and fly to see my parents over in Florida. It was a red-eye flight, and although I'm not a fan of these, it went by pretty quickly. I was able to get some sleep, and I had landed the next day. Just me and my buddy Rex here. How you doing, buddy? He's all about the kisses and licks. Why? He's 6 months old. He's a boxer, in case you're wondering. Relax, buddy. Oh, look at this. He's so excited. Buddy, what's going on? I had to go dip my feet into the ocean here on the East Coast. This water is so warm. It was unbelievable, and I went for a swim later. Next up, I had to go find a 7-Eleven locally here in the US. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any 7-Eleven water. They do not sell 7-Eleven water in the US. Had one of many traditional meals with my parents and had to go back to the beach. I had to go back and take another look. The sea turtles were laying eggs, and that's why you see all the seaweed. They hadn't disturbed it until the eggs have hatched. And I know you're probably dying to find out, is Serg coming back to Thailand or is he going to stay in America? Well, let me give you that answer now. I have absolutely loved my time here in the US. I've been here, like I said, for almost 3 weeks right now, seen so many friends, family, my elderly parents, people and places that I absolutely missed. And I feel so comfortable here, and I'm so happy to be back here. However, I still miss Thailand. I still miss all the warm Thai people. I miss all of you guys, seeing some of you on a day-to-day basis when I'm walking around, making videos in Thailand, exploring on motorbikes, and just doing stupid things like getting lost. So, I'm coming back. I am coming back to Thailand in a week's time. I will be back to making videos, hoping to knock out 1 or 2 more videos while I'm here in America, but I'm definitely coming back. Make sure you check out some of my other videos. Please don't forget to take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon in another one of my videos. Bye, guys.